Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into an absolutely epic story of betrayal, survival, and a revenge plot that was years in the making, all kicked off by a legendary lost treasure.
So our story doesn't start with a crime. It starts with the punishment already happening. We meet this completely innocent man just moments before he's locked away from the world for something he didn't do, which brings us to the big question here.
And this is where we first meet our guy, Edmond Dantes. He's being dragged to the infamous Chateau d'If. This is a fortress on an island, a place no one has ever escaped from. It's not for regular criminals, it's a place for people who've been framed and then totally forgotten by the world.
And get this, in this unbelievably cruel moment, the warden himself tells him the truth. He looks Edmond in the eye and says, "I know you're innocent. This place is built for people who were conspired against." But instead of giving him hope, he gives him a beating and throws him in a tiny cell where the door will only open once a year.
For 12 long, absolutely crushing years, Edmond just wastes away in that cell. The only way he can even mark the time is by the warden's annual visit to beat him. He slowly loses his faith, his sanity, and eventually every last shred of hope. He gets to the point where he's ready to just end it all.
But then, right when he's at his absolute lowest, something impossible happens. The floor of his cell starts moving. It's an old man, another prisoner, who's just spent 5 years tunneling in the completely wrong direction and has popped up in Edmond's cell by mistake. And that one single mistake, well, it's about to change everything.
Okay, so to really understand just how deep this injustice goes, we need to rewind a bit and see the perfect life that was stolen from him and, the people who did the stealing. What could this honest sailor have possibly done to deserve a fate like this?
You see, Edmond had everything going for him. He was an honest, brave guy who had just gotten a huge promotion as ship captain. He was about to marry the love of his life, Mercedes, and it was that happiness, that success, that made him a target for 3 men who were just consumed by their own greed and jealousy.
So his whole world came crashing down because of a 3-pronged attack. First, there was his supposed best friend, Fernand, who was secretly in love with Mercedes. Second, a jealous sailor who wanted that promotion for himself. And third, the corrupt magistrate, Villefort, who suddenly realized that Edmond was a loose end that could destroy his entire career.
And the weapon they used to destroy him? It was just a simple letter. The exiled Napoleon was so impressed by Edmond's character that he asked him to deliver it. But Edmond couldn't read, so he had no idea the letter actually implicated the magistrate's own father as a traitor. So, to protect his family's name, Villefort burned the letter and buried the messenger.
All right, so let's jump back to the prison. Edmond's unexpected new cellmate isn't just a guy with a shovel. He's about to become the mentor who will completely reforge Edmond into something new.
So in exchange for helping dig the escape tunnel, the old man gives Edmond a world-class education. He teaches the illiterate sailor how to read and write, schools him in science, math, economics, and, most importantly, the art of sword fighting. The naive boy is slowly being reforged into a sharp, lethal, and brilliant man.
But just as they're about to break through the outer wall, disaster strikes. The tunnel collapses, and his mentor is fatally wounded. And with his dying breath, the old man reveals a secret he'd always claimed was a lie. The legendary treasure of Spada. It's real. He gives Edmond the map and makes him promise to use the incredible wealth for good.
This leads to one of the most brilliant and frankly insane escape plans in all of literature. When the guards come to collect the old man's body, Edmond sees this desperate 1 in a million chance. He swaps places with the corpse, zips himself up inside the body bag, and just waits.
So, following prison custom, the guards haul the body bag up to the cliffs and just hurl it into the sea. But as it's falling, Edmond bursts free, and in his first real act of revenge, he drags the warden down into the depths with him. He's free, finally free, and he is a man with absolutely nothing left to lose. And his path back into the world is just explosive. He gets captured by pirates, but he wins his freedom and the loyalty of a new friend, Jacopo, in a duel. Together, they follow the map, and they find it. The treasure of Spada. We're talking chests overflowing with gold and jewels. In an instant, Edmond Dantes is no longer just a free man. He now has almost infinite resources.
So with this boundless wealth and a new, loyal friend by his side, Edmond Dantes sheds his old identity. He returns to French society, but not as the sailor who was wronged. He comes back as the mysterious, sophisticated, and impossibly wealthy Count of Monte Cristo.
And the transformation is
total. The naive, poor, illiterate victim is just gone, and in his place is this cunning, learned, incredibly powerful man. He's no longer the one getting betrayed. Now, he's the architect of betrayal.
And he's got a very simple list. He quickly finds out that in the 13 years he was rotting in prison, his enemies have thrived. Fernand uses betrayal to become a general and marry Mercedes. The jealous sailor now owns a huge shipping company. And Villefort? He's climbed the ladder to become the chief prosecutor of Paris. The Count's plan to dismantle their lives begins.
Now, the Count's plan is a masterclass in patience. He doesn't just use brute force. No. He uses his enemy's own fatal flaws, their greed, their pride, their corruption, against them. He masterfully lures them into these perfectly constructed traps. For the greedy shipping merchant, he creates a fake gold shipment that completely ruins him and gets him arrested. For the prosecutor Villefort, he pulls strings until the man's own dark secrets come to light, leading to his public disgrace and a one-way ticket to the very prison he sent Edmond to. And finally, he bankrupts General Fernand, backing him into a corner that can only end in one way, a fatal duel.
But in that final confrontation, Mercedes reveals a secret that just changes everything. Her son, the very same young man the Count has befriended, is not Fernand's. He is Edmond's own son, conceived right before he was thrown in prison.
And just like that, after 13 years of unimaginable suffering and meticulous planning, Edmond doesn't just get his revenge. He reclaims the family he never even knew he had. His past, his present, his future, it all collides in one stunning moment.
And he fulfills that promise he made to his old mentor. He uses his vast fortune for one final, incredible act of justice. He buys the entire prison island, frees every single inmate, and then has the fortress torn down, brick by brick, making sure no one will ever suffer the way he did.
So in the end, yeah, justice was served. His enemies paid the ultimate price. But it does leave you with this one lingering question, doesn't it? Can the scales ever really be balanced? Can even the most perfect revenge truly make up for a life that was stolen? That's something worth thinking about.